Now, there are 7 major areas where God prospers men. Revelations 5 verse 12. 7 major areas. It says, saying with a loud voice, worthy is the Lamb that was slain to receive power, riches, wisdom, strength, honor, glory, and blessings. If I have time, I will pick them individually and deal with them. But tonight, because I don't have time, I want to focus on the aspect of riches. That's why I'm dealing with finances. God prospers men in the area of riches. These are the things handed to Jesus. And in Romans 8:17, the Bible said that we are joint heirs with Christ. So everything God handed to Christ, we were called to share in it. So in the same way he was given power, riches, honor, glory, we have been invited to share in it. This is what we are co-inheriting in with Christ. And so every believer must prosper in these 7 things that God has made available. But you see, the problem we have is the problem of ignorance. In the kingdom, you can never be established in anything without knowledge. In this kingdom, if you must be established, then at the foundation there must be knowledge. In 2 Peter 1 verse 3, it said, according as his divine power has given us all things that pertaineth. Be hearing the tenses. He didn't say he will give us. He said he has given us all things that pertaineth to life and to godliness. He said, but it is through the knowledge of him that has called us to glory and virtue. So all things that pertain to life and godliness has already been given to you, but it will take knowledge for you to walk in it. So the reason many are not prospering is a revelation of ignorance that is in that area where they struggle. In fact, every area of struggle is an alarm system indicating a type of ignorance. The moment knowledge comes and that knowledge is applied, there will be a sign. The sign is that you'll begin to prosper. In Isaiah 48 verse 17, it said, thus saith the Lord, thy Redeemer, the Holy One of Israel. He said, I am the Lord thy God, which teaches you to profit and leadeth you in the direction that you should go. So it is part of God's holiness to teach you how to profit. So those who assume that when you are talking profit, when you are talking finance, it's not holiness. God had to introduce himself in the order of holiness. And it's in that context that God said, I teach you to prosper, to profit. So it also means that God teaches you. I was listening to Ketmore this morning, Brother Ketmore, and he said, teaching you to prosper or to profit also means God teaches you not to lose. So when God is prospering you, he's not just giving you new things. Even the ones he's given you before, he teaches you not to waste them nor lose them, so that your prosperity can be established forever. Are you following this? Proverbs 10:22. I said it already. The blessings of the Lord make it rich, it added no sorrow to it. Deuteronomy 8:18. Thou shalt remember the Lord thy God. It is him that giveth thee power to get wealth, that you may establish his covenant to this day. You see that God's covenant is not only established through prayers. You see that God's covenant is established through prosperity. Most of the Western world today, they are buying churches and converting them to warehouses. So all those places where you said there were downloads of glory, they are now down. They are places for carrying turkey, frozen turkey. So the glory now is on turkey, because when they are buying it, you don't have money to say no, I will keep it. If you have money, you can buy it and say no. If this will be warehouse, I will keep it until one man rises who understands that order, and it will not be a prayer point. But if we don't have money, those who have money will seize governmental power. They will seize every context and every sphere of human engagement, and they will determine what runs there. Recently, they started a new app, and Christians were jumping on it and say, yeah, we are here to trade. I just shook my head. I felt pity for the church for two reasons. Number one, there's nobody in the church. They said within 6 hours of unveiling, more than 10 million have registered. How many people in the Christendom today can start something like that, and in one day the whole globe is shaking? We don't have such people, because it takes a lot of economic power to do that. What the guy did in 24 hours, the way he shook the globe, and the number of persons that rushed there, it speaks of influence. I don't know how many persons are on that platform now. I'm still praying because I'm so burdened. Now, we were studying the sign on that stuff, and the sign we saw there, it will take men of understanding to discern it. We were seeing 6 in different order, and we are not even discerning. We want to rush there and get followers. The burden is, I'm not against going up there, because if the word is there, we must go there so that we pump it with the gospel. And I'm not saying those who went there are wrong, but see the point. How many Christians can set up a platform like that, and the whole world will be vibrating because of it? Number two, even the few Christians that are doing it, we are not there. Because when a Christian does it, we say, no, this man, I think he's fake. Meanwhile, the person who is you go to his profile, he's not a Christian. They say religion, he doesn't put God. Some put no religion. They start, we don't care, we jump in. But when a Christian is doing it, we come and sit down and say, let's study his private life. I'm not saying endorse those who are wrong, but I'm saying there's something wrong with us. Because our heart is not right. Our heart is jealousy that sponsors those things. How many of us here are on Christian apps? The few that are trying so hard to take over. If they even tell us to say, no, it's about their church. Oh, it's about their church. Is it not better to be on an app that advances a church philosophy than to be on a public program or platform that have policies that are demonic? Do you know that the teaching we did here on Tuesday, they flagged it and put it down? Because we said what we shouldn't say. A day will come when you preach and say Jesus, they will censor it out. And they will warn you, if you say it again, we will ban you for 90 days. And if you say it again, we will remove you. And for 6 months, you will try to log in, you won't be able to, because you are out. Because of community policy. All of this will not need vigils if people who have economic power begin to buy those corridors. See, the reason we are talking prosperity is not to buy car and buy a wristwatch. That's not prosperity, that's materialism. That's where a lot of people get it wrong. What many people call the doctrine of prosperity is materialism, and that's why they fight it. Materialism has 2 major philosophies. Number 1 is vanity. Get money and buy your ambition and showcase it. Number 2 is self-preservation. And so anybody who frowns at materialism is correct, because it's not of God. Self is a philosophy of the devil. Vanity is the way of the devil. All of that is what makes for materialism. But when we are talking prosperity, we are talking empowerments that makes you able to advance God's kingdom. And one of those areas of empowerment is in the area of finances. This is why God is passionate about seeing his people prosper. Because the kingdom can't go forward unless you and I are able to prosper.